Hi friends, welcome back to the channel today. My name is Carly and we are going to be going over the 2023 Board Game Buzz Holiday Gift Guide. This season I'm going to be putting together a list of 10 different videos, each video focused on a specific type of group of people in your life, and we'll be recommending games for you to look into if you are, trying to find some good board games to purchase this holiday season. Because as we all know, games are the best gift ever, right? So in this specific video we're going to be chatting about games we feel like are good for the new gamers in your life. Whether that list is, people who don't play games very often, or they're just very, very new into gaming and into this world of gaming, we thought it would be good to put together a list specifically for that group of people. So let's go ahead and jump into this list.
If you have a new gamer in your life who also happens to love cats, then you should gift them Isle of Cats. Isle of Cats is a competitive card drafting game, polyomino game for 1 to 4 people, or it can be 6 people with the expansion. And the main objective is to rescue cats from this island and then place them as families into your boat, meaning you're placing the same colored cats next to. You want to try to keep the same colored cats together when you place them on your boats. Now, you are probably thinking, Kim, card drafting, polyomino, that doesn't really sound like a game for beginners. But the cool thing about this game is that it has a whole nother set of rules that are to play like a simplified family version of the game. And I enjoy the simplified version or the family version just as much as the complex version of the game. So it's, to me, in my opinion, it is just as good as a game playing the simple rules as playing the complex rules. And in the simplified version, so I really like cats and I like tile placing. In the simplified version, you are simply just taking the cats and trying to place them in your boat, and you're still trying to make the families of cats. So that's why I think that this game is a great introduction, because you can, for one, it has a solo mode, so a person can play it solo if they want, if they just want to kind of dive into it themselves to learn and play, or they can play the simplified rules, and then as a person starts to maybe be interested in more complex rules or more concepts like card drafting, then they can learn the more complicated rules of the game. So anyways, that's why I think that Isle of Cats is a great game to gift to new gamers for this Christmas, because of the ability to start off simple and then learn more complicated rules as you yourself gain more interest.
So one of the games that I always recommend to new gamers is actually Parks. So in Parks, you're basically playing as hikers that are going around touring the national forests, and you're trying to collect as many national parks as you possibly can, and again, end up with the most points at the end of the game. But what makes this game interesting is this little track that is placed along the center of the table, and you have these little hikers and you're moving them down this track, and now you can move them as far down the track as you want to, but the trick is you can never move it backwards. So you're moving them down, slowly collecting resources, which then you'll spend those resources to buy. I think thematically you're visiting the park, but really you're just purchasing national parks, and it's just so interesting to have that little puzzle going on, and especially if you play with a lot of people, then that trail gets really bogged down because you're not allowed to be on the same trail as somebody else's. There are a couple ways that you can go about changing that, but for the most part, you're not allowed to be on the same trail as somebody else. So it's really competitive and fun to have to, you're holding on to a spot that somebody else needs, so they have to go over you, and they can never go back to get those resources that they need. It's a really fun, really engaging game, and I just love that trail that is placed in the center of the table. It's my favorite part about the game. So if you have not checked that out yet, please go do so. Parks is an amazing game to hit the table this holiday season.
Lords of Waterdeep was one of the first board games in my own personal board game collection, and it was a great introduction to worker placement. And even though now we have over 100 board games, Lords of Waterdeep has not lost its value in our interest and love and just overall enjoyment of the game. It's the rules are easy to understand, and then so it's easy. It was easy to learn, and it's also easy to teach. We played this with some people even recently, and they really liked how easy it was to learn. So and turns are straightforward too. You have your workers, and you are sending them out to collect the resources and the items, and then you're using those resources to fulfill quests. So, and turns don't last very long, which I think can also be an important thing for new gamers. So that the game only lasts probably about under an hour. So, and I think that can also be, like I said, an important thing for new gamers. They don't want to spend hours and hours usually around a table playing board games. So if you know someone who is just getting into the hobby, I really recommend Lords of Waterdeep as a great starting game for their collection.
Now, the very first time that I played Trekking Through History, I was the very, very, very first thing that came to mind while I was playing was this would be such a great game to introduce new players to. And so that's why Trekking Through History is on this list for me, because again, that was like the very first thing that I thought of when I played it. But Trekking Through History, basically what you're doing is you are collecting cards, which you are putting into certain sets. And so like thematically, you're like going back in time, so you're visiting certain times throughout history and doing really cool stuff. But basically it's just a simple set collection game, and it's just so, the way that it goes about, like how you collect your sets, and based on what you collect, you also earn little things on your little sideboard. It's just a really fun, kind of really, really approachable game. I feel like anybody, even if you're not a gamer, you will understand how to do the set collection in this game, and it's just very straightforward. I feel like they didn't put in anything unnecessary to the game. It just seems very simple, easy, approachable. So I definitely, and again, the artwork is beautiful throughout this entire game. So even visually, like, it looks really appealing. So I feel like it's a really great, approachable game for new gamers, and so that's why it's on this list.
Now, my final recommendation as a game to get newbies for Christmas this year is Century. And I recommend Century because, in my opinion, I think it is a great introduction to an engine building game. You have your starting hand of cards, and you are, on your turn, you're able to either select a new card to pick up, or you can place one of the cards in your hand, and that card will allow you to collect resources. And the different cards do different things, and you're trying to like level up your cards, and like I said, you're building your engine. And then you get to turn in those resources to collect the points. You're ultimately trying to be the most victorious and have the most points in the game. So it's again, turns are simple. They don't take very long. It's very straightforward. Again, I was able to pick this game, like learn it really quickly at Origins all those years ago when it first came out. But it was as simple, this is how you play and this is what you do, and was able to play it. And again, it's still a game that we enjoy playing, and we can play it with our kids, and it's fun. And now there's also, you can also build upon it because there's expansions that you can get for it. And each of those expansions kind of makes a more like complex and deeper game. So again, I think it's a great game to gift to people just starting off their collection or who are just starting to get into the board game hobby. Again, that's another game that can kind of evolve with you in your interest of board games. So this Christmas, if you have people who are just starting to dive into the hobby, I recommend that you get them Century.
Thank you so much for watching this 2023 Board Game Buzz Holiday Gift Guide. If you enjoyed this video and you haven't yet subscribed, it would mean so much if you could. It really helps support us in everything that we're doing on the channel.
Like and comment all the things.
All the things, all the games you're getting this holiday season, and we'll see you next time.